The coffee industry is really in crisis right now, and as a result, I've never seen a situation where we've had so many coffee farmers going out of business. What we're doing and what we have done is come out with a buying program called Cafe Practices. Starbucks started in 1971. There were three partners that started the company. Howard Schultz, who everyone is familiar with and associates with Starbucks, came to the company in 1982. It was still a very small business at that time. He was actually a supplier to the company. And then after a trip to Italy in the mid-'80s, he came back with a different concept for the company. He wanted to create a coffee house, and based on what he saw with the espresso coffee houses in Italy. And his vision was to serve drinks as opposed to just roasted coffee. So he bought out the other partners in 1987. The company went public in 1992 when we had about 120 stores. And today we're over 8,000 stores in 34 different countries and opening 3 stores a day and have 30 million customers a week going through Starbucks. So it's become one of the most admired and recognized brands in the world. Our first store was in Seattle. It's still there today. We've kept the same original logo and the same feel that we had back in 1971. It's called Pike Place Market. We actually serve a Pike Place blend only in that store. So it's very unique. It's become kind of a shrine for people around the world who know and love Starbucks. They all want to come see it, touch it, feel it. If you walk into a Starbucks in Beijing, or you walk into one in Kuwait City, or you walk into one in St. Louis, the experience should be the same, and the coffee's the same. So because of that, we've created a great loyalty amongst our consumers. In fact, the people who really love Starbucks, on average, will visit 18 times a month. So when we go through and taste coffee, which is what we're doing here, we leave the grounds in the coffee. So we're doing this for intensity reasons. And as it extracts and brews, the grounds will settle to the bottom. So this is a very, very intense cup of coffee. This Costa Rica, for example, comes from the Tres Rios region. It's an exclusive for Starbucks. We buy all of the coffee from this particular farm. We've had an arrangement with them for 14 years. Gazebo's an East African blend. Much lighter coffee than the Bella Vista, but very floral and aromatic. What I'm doing is atomizing the coffee across my palate, because your palate picks up different flavors at different points on the tongue. So in doing so, you're actually coating and pulling it up into your sinuses. So that's how we go through evaluating coffee. We search the world for really the finest coffees, and our search goes all over the world. We visit anywhere between 20 and 30 different countries almost every year. In fact, our buyers spend 240 days a year looking for great coffee. We buy from 3 different areas, primarily. Asia Pacific, primarily Indonesia. And we buy from Central America, and we buy from Africa and Arabian Peninsula. We have a group called Starbucks Coffee Trading Company. It's the buying group for the company. They're located in Switzerland, where almost all coffee companies are now today. It's become the coffee capital of the universe. Coffee grows in a band around the world between the tropics of Capricorn and Cancer. So it actually grows in some 70 different countries. We buy from about 20 to 25 countries right now. We actually go back to the same farms every year. So we know the farmer, we build a relationship with that farmer, and as a result, we think we get the greatest coffees in the world of working with that farmer. It's often necessary that we also work with the government, because they influence the social conditions and what the law is for that country. We don't set law, but we certainly need to stay within their laws, so we try to influence where we can. Frequently when we go to Central America, I visit with the president of Guatemala and Costa Rica when I'm there, just to tell them what we're doing, to ask for their help, their engagement in creating both education programs and availability of teachers if we build schools in rural communities that don't have them. So we're quite active with the governments. The coffee industry is really in crisis right now. And as a result, I've never seen a situation where we've had so many coffee farmers going out of business. It's beyond just a problem for that farmer, it's become a social problem. The problems have stemmed from overproduction. Brazil used to produce around 25, 30 million bags of coffee. These last few years they've had the ability to produce up to 50 million bags. Vietnam has become a big producer. 15 years ago they didn't produce any coffee at all. They became the 5th largest producer in the world 2 years ago. It's not the coffee we buy, it doesn't affect Starbucks, but it does affect the farmers globally. The dynamics of supply and demand have played out in a very dramatic way that's been harmful to the farmers. What we're doing and what we have done is come out with a buying program called Cafe Practices, which stands for Coffee and Farmer Equity Practices. And we worked with Conservation International and other NGOs to help create what we felt was a way of buying coffee that would be sustainable for the future, so that the farmer could stay in business and that was socially responsible as well as environmentally responsible. But it also involves us paying a fair price for the coffee. It involves economic transparency, which means we know and audited by a third party what that farmer was paid for the coffee so that they can stay in business. So the premium prices we're paying are allowing them to stay in business. We also buy in a way that's socially responsible, and by that I mean that the farmers, the pickers, the migrant pickers, the farmers that work on the farms are treated, paid a fair wage, have access to hot meals, have access to health and dental care, and also an environmentally friendly way. We don't want farmers cutting down trees to plant more. We want shade trees involved. We want buffer zones between streams and where wastewater is used in the coffee mills. We don't want a lot of chemicals poured on. So we're very aware of what's happening in the environment. And as a result of that, these farmers not only can earn a premium price for their coffee, they can earn a premium on top of the premium price we already pay and help them make these changes, and we're willing to pay for that. The most difficult thing for us is the time commitment that it takes to build a relationship with the farmer. It takes a long, long time. And there are new farmers as we continue to grow. So touching that farmer in one way or the other on a yearly basis is something that takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, but it's also very key for what we're doing. To that end, this year we've opened our Farmer Support Center in Costa Rica. And so now we're actually on ground in producing countries. And we will have an agronomist in each country eventually in Central America. The office for the agronomist in Central America is a 4-wheel drive and a laptop. So they're actually on farms, multiple farms, every single day. And that's what we want, is a Starbucks presence there, talking to them about their growing practices, learning from them, and sharing with them what are best practices. And to us, that's where the collaboration and the equity piece comes in on Cafe Practices. We don't think profitability and social responsibility are mutually exclusive. I think they can work hand in hand, and that's what we're trying to demonstrate. We have an opportunity to make someone's day really great. 30 million people a week, we want to see them smile when they walk out.